welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to do a review and demo of the new Lorac Pro Contour Palette. And I know like a bunch of you, as well as myself, I was super excited to hear when this palette is coming out. And I was lucky enough to get this a little bit earlier because Ulta sent out an email to Platinum members saying, hey, if you want to get it, get them until supplies last, until we restock till our official launch date, which is, or rather was, supposed to be Sunday, June 14th tomorrow. But, you know, Ulta actually just has it up on their site right now, Saturday, June 13th. So I was like, okay, I definitely have to get this review and demo up for you guys. So this retails for about $45 and you get the contour palette as well as a brush, which I thought, I was like, damn, they're gonna throw on a brush, that's pretty cool. And you get 3 mattes, these are all matte except for this shade right here. So you get 3 matte contouring shades and then 2 matte highlighting shades and then a shimmer shade. For me, $45 seems to be what, you know, most contouring palettes retail for the high-end, you know, beauty products. And it was kind of nice that they threw in a brush. Honestly, for me, I am not really a fan of this brush because I like the fact that I got this early, so I've really been testing it out. As you can see, all my little dirty fingerprints, I've been using this and using it, testing it out and seeing how this is going. Because honestly, if I would have done a first impressions on this, I would have been like, no, like no. But the more I use it, the more I love this palette. And I feel like for me, the fact that I was like no was because of this brush. When I initially first used it for the contouring shades, you know, it made a really nice defined line, but because of this brush, it was so incredibly difficult to blend out that line. So, you know, kind of did the line and tried to blend it a little bit with the brush, and then I was like, okay, that is not working. So I went in with a fluffier brush, I used other brushes, and I swear to God, I was like blending my face off. I was like, oh my God, I'm really not a fan of this palette. But I really like it if you use the correct brush. So for me personally, the fact that I've experimented and seen what brushes works for which definitely, you know, has changed my opinion about this palette because, you know, first off I would have been like, no, don't get it. But I really like using a brush such as the Real Techniques contouring brush. Definitely something a little bit fluffier. It's going to be a lot easier to blend out. Or something like the Sigma, what is this? Sigma F40 brush. Something, so if you want something a little bit more angled, something that's going to give you blendability. Because that other brush, it was just, it was a nice, you know, everybody wants those cheekbone definitions, and you can definitely still get that look with a brush like this. That other one, that's all it gave you. You're just going to get a straight line. It's not going to be a blended line, it's going to be a straight line. So right off the bat, brush, it was great that they added it, but you know, hey, maybe take off those $5 and don't include the brush maybe. So the palette, I really like. This is definitely, from what I've seen from other contouring palettes, it's definitely one of the more sleek palettes, which is going to be really nice and travel friendly. You know, you have the Kat Von D, you have the Anastasia contour kits. They're actually a little bit thicker than this one, so the sleekness of this is going to be really great for traveling. I actually really like the colors that come in this palette, especially the contouring colors. They're not too warm. They definitely have some coolness in them, which is great because you kind of want a little bit more cooler if you're going to be contouring, specifically creating those shadows. You can do it, you know, with warm, with bronzers and stuff like that, but I like the fact that these are actually a lot cooler tones. And I can say that I've definitely used every color in this palette except for maybe this one because that's gonna be way too dark. Maybe I can experiment a little bit in the summertime. For my highlights, I feel like this yellow highlight, now that I'm a little bit light, it's a little bit too yellow for me, but if you're darker than me, this is definitely gonna look really nice. So I either like to mix the beige highlight and the yellow highlight together, or just the beige highlight, depending on how light I want to go under my eye. So I really like both of them. However, I do like using the yellow highlight to kind of clean up my contour line, you know, at the end. And for contouring, I really like, if I want something just really light and subtle, I'll just go in with the light contour color, or I can go in with the medium, or I can just mix if I want something in between, because, you know, who doesn't like mixing? My only issue, well, 1, 2, 3 of my issues, but it's not a big deal. These are very powdery, I will say. But like I would say, the eyeshadows, they're also very powdery, but I've gotten past it. But because they are, you know, really buttery, really smooth, so you're gonna get some of that fallout. So that's one of my issues. Another thing that I'm not a fan of is this highlight. I am very light. I'm pretty light. And I feel like I can pull this off, but the tanner I get, I really can't. So if you're like my natural light skin and lighter, you might like this highlight, but if you're darker than me, you're really not gonna, it's gonna be like, it's gonna look ashy, it's gonna look way too light for you. So I'm really not a fan of the highlight. The other thing that they could have done, but it's also not a big deal, but still, I feel like every contouring palette, any kind of palette that's contour, blushes, or anything, they should have made them refillable. You obviously, it doesn't look like any way that you can maybe really refill those, maybe somehow, yeah, I don't think you can. But I feel like that's where they kind of miss. Like honestly, that's where like I feel like when I'm gonna see new contour palettes, I'm gonna look for, is it refillable? That's something that maybe the Anastasia contour kit has over this one. It's refillable, and especially if you want to, this is something you want to travel with and pack in your makeup kit, this would have been really great for like my freelance kit or something. But it's not refillable, so I'm like, okay, you kind of missed it there. The one thing that I do really like about this, these are really blendable. Once again, depending what brush you use is gonna determine that. So I like the blendability, I really like the color of these, and honestly I feel like I can definitely pretty much use about 90% of this palette. And for this deep contour color that I might not use on my face, I can definitely use it to contour my eyes, to define my eyes and stuff, so it's not a total loss. Overall, I have really been loving, and I find myself really gravitating towards and reaching for this palette to do my makeup. The more I use it, the more I love it, the more I experiment with it, the more I loved it. So I'm really glad I did not do a first impressions, or else I probably would have given this like a pretty bad review. But definitely find the tools with any makeup product, find the tools that work best for you. A lot of products aren't bad, you just maybe aren't using the correct items with it. So experiment, play with it, and then kind of make, you know, your judgment from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this review and demo of this new Lorac Pro Contour Palette. Once again, Lorac, your pro, like their pro products are just really great. So far so good. I've been loving it. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you pick it up, let me know how you like it. Let me know maybe what brushes you prefer to use with this palette. So thank you guys so much for watching my videos, and make sure to subscribe to keep up with some more videos, and I'll see you guys next time.